Shut.
All
Yes.
right.
All right.
Amen.
That was the perfect podcast voice. Man.
What?
Do it again.
All right. Who you're listening to the Disrupted Faith Podcast. All right, episode 21, Disrupted Faith Podcast, where we're having honest and necessary conversations about what it means to be a Christian. Conversations that you might not be having at your local Sunday morning service. I am one of your hosts, Tech, along with
Jay Blunt.
and
Fred Green.
all right. How you guys doing?
Good.
Good.
How was your week? Anything interesting happen?
Nothing interesting happened for me. Just been working, same old, enjoying life. Bless.
Pastor Green Instagram continues
Yo.
to just
You popping, bro. I
Bless
was
you.
on there today.
Oh, thank you.
I was
Thank
like, yo, you getting hundreds of views almost every video now.
you. It's
notice that?
consistency. Yes, I did. I'm not gonna lie, say I didn't.
yes, I did.
I did notice that. No, God is faithful. Just been trying to stay consistent.
Amen.
Mm.
Not as many views for you.
At all.
Oh, that was like
No.
that was so evil.
Not at all.
I'm gonna be a jerk.
At all.
I don't. No one. Yo, I think for a second I thought I got Instagram blocked because but I just realized nobody cares about. Like I would post a video, and be like, really? No one saw it. I guess I was like, I'm not afraid.
No, I'm not afraid.
Pastor Blunt.
Fred's been consistent. I think that's
the only
kicker.
reason why.
That's the kicker.
Yeah.
Unlike me.
And me.
Yeah.
Consistency. You guys told me.
I don't even post in stories. At least you post in stories.
Me, a couple here and there. A couple. Yeah.
All right. Well, hope everybody's doing well. What?
Right.
We was asking Jason about his
Don't worry
week.
about it.
Okay.
No, I didn't. But it's okay. No,
You
thanks,
just
Fred.
made an evil joke and then you just
I
moved
did.
on.
I was
Fred. No.
whole certified jerk.
It's okay.
I was like, how was your week?
Fine. Thanks. Fine, thanks.
All is well?
Yep.
Are you working on any new paintings?
I'm not.
Okay.
I mean, I have some things in the air.
Atmosphere?
Yeah.
Are they going to the atmosphere to the canvas?
Yeah, I have some things I have
They're happening.
that are on, some little smaller ones.
Okay, cool.
They're in the works. They are
Like,
in the
if
works.
you have not already checked out Pastor Blunt's paintings, it's
Amazing.
nothing regular.
Appreciate it.
I
They're
agree. Nah,
They're decent.
They're
Insane.
amazing.
Insane.
They're amazing.
All right.
How about your week? How was your week?
My week was
'Cause I
good.
care.
Yeah, my week was good. Yo, I do have something I want to say.
All right.
I heard people say this before,
Okay.
but I didn't really realize it was a thing. They changed math?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What is it
And
called?
why?
What
'Cause
kind of math is it?
I don't
It's not
even know
called
what it's
area
called.
math.
It makes no sense.
It's weird. It's
I just learned it not long ago because I was helping out.
oh, you learned it?
Yeah, I had to go back and YouTube to figure out how it was done so
It's
I could help,
like,
help
why?
some kids out.
Like, there's so many other problems in the world that could be
Common
fixed.
core math. There we go.
Common core.
Common
math.
Like, what is a
Okay.
tape diagram?
That I have never heard of.
I'm
not familiar
I don't know.
with that.
It was the weirdest thing in the world. Just had 2 question marks. She said, write this out in a tape diagram. I'm like, my son is in the 1st grade.
Wow.
Mm,
So you
wow.
can't even.
I was
help your
like,
kids
bruh.
out. Did you
He
try
goes
to
from Scotch
YouTube
tape.
it?
And I had no idea.
You
He knew
tried
what it was.
So
and,
you
I,
knew what it was.
and I just had to be like, oh, okay, that's what's up. But I had no idea. My phone's going on crazy.
Yeah.
But I had no idea. I have no idea. And then he said something on the number line.
Yeah, I think.
Oh
that's,
yeah, my daughter
part of
does
it.
that.
I don't
yeah.
know nothing about no
Is
number
it like
line.
a hash, like cross, and then
Yeah, it's like a little line with little dashes and everything. But I'm about to teach her just my way.
you can't, bro. You can't teach her your way.
'Cause they
Even
gotta
though
show
it's
their
simpler.
work.
Yeah, they have to show it in that
That's the
form. now.
dumbest problem that
I'm showing
the
them
world
my
has
way.
solved.
Super. Sure, both. You learn her way, and then you teach her your way.
I think
You
their
know
way
what?
is stupid. though.
It is.
It is, but it's
It's
a
stupid.
necessity. Because
Here-
if they don't, they'll get like a half a point on their grades or something. It'll just
That's so-
it won't work.
Here's a pre-hot take.
All right, let's go.
Math is overrated. And a long time is overrated.
I don't know about that. I just, for the first time in my life, I had to use a parallelogram.
Really?
That's because you were doing
No,
something you
I'm
didn't.
joking.
No, I wasn't
I've
saying.
never had to use one.
Bruh,
even in school, I use a parallelogram.
Say it again.
Math and analog time is overrated.
I still like the analog time.
Why would you need analog?
You might as well just add cursive writing to that.
It's all of it.
Yeah, you know they
English.
cancel. I don't think they
They
learn
also
cursive writing.
you also don't have to parallel park
yes, they
for
took
your
that.
driving stuff.
Yeah,
You don't?
See how
No,
They
don't.
need to keep that in there.
Tech,
know.
they took that because my sisters and my cousins, like they're younger, and when I took them to take their test, they didn't have to
They
parallel
just do the
parking.
K-turn, right?
Yeah, it's weird. I'm like,
No parallel parking.
It's crazy.
No cursive.
I mean, but parallel parking you
analog.
use cursing. You only
cursive.
I always called it cursing. Cursive you never really use unless you sign a contract.
Yeah, but the kids nowadays don't even know how to sign their name. I've seen some signatures. I can't say who, but those there's really suspect of.
But I think like in math.
Well, everyone has a calculator on their phone.
Yeah,
now,
like
so.
Math is
you need
important.
to learn how to read.
I think it's important. It just
what?
depends on.
If you're gonna be
It depends on engineer.
Yeah.
And different things. Math
Good
math
jobs
is
come out of it.
learn math in college.
I don't know about coding, but maybe coding too.
Maybe coding. I guess math can stay.
Yeah, math.
But it makes no sense that
The way we calculate shouldn't be.
and that you have to do it that way, like you said.
It wasn't broken.
Oh my
It
God.
wasn't broken. Thank you, Jason. It wasn't broken.
It wasn't.
We
broken.
made it.
You making bigger
More than
problems.
made it. Yeah, they.
What's 2 times 2, guys?
Let me pull off my shoes so I can.
Let me pull off. my
Maybe we
shoes.
should. All right.
No, they-
All right,
Use their system.
Pastor J.
Gotta draw a box. What's up?
Question:
Yes, sir.
What today is?
Oh, I'm glad you asked.
Amen.
because I forgot.
Praise God.
All right, so today,
Dog, can I say something? I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, that's perfect.
I am built like a Russian doll. You know those dolls that have dolls inside of them?
yeah. So
I was
which
looking
one are you? The first one?
mama doll.
You're the mama doll.
Yeah, I just realized that last week. I was looking at the video, and my top half was sinking into my bottom half.
Oh wow. Okay.
Like the bottom half of my stomach is built like a what's that thing you sit on? The beanbag.
A beanbag.
Yeah.
So okay.
And it's like somebody stuck an upper torso
On the
in the
beanbag.
beanbag.
I like that.
I'm tired of being built like a Russian
Really
doll.
imagine that.
Yeah,
That was very descriptive.
It's too like you
Detailed.
stood in front of the mirror for a while.
You
there,
had
didn't
to.
I know. When I watched the video, I
you
was
just-
like, bruh.
you?
You
So
look like
that's
a
why
Russian
we're sitting
doll.
like this now with the table in front of us.
Yeah,
That's
I was like,
hilarious.
I figured that. I didn't want to say anything. I was like,
I
you know,
still get my Russian doll on. You little Russian doll looking. All right.
yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I diverged. Go ahead, Pastor Mark.
All right. So today, if you're listening, it's February 10th.
Hey, man. Hey, shout out. Oh, no. Go ahead. Sorry.
Very good. It is National Clean Out Your Computer Day.
Whoa. I need
It's
that.
the second Monday in February.
Clean out
So
your
clean
computer.
out your computer. That's a
If
new one.
you've been
That's
in
new one.
bed.
Never heard of that.
Oh.
Go ahead. Sing it.
No.
Sing it. Clean out your computer day.
Okay.
Some of y'all might need to Control Alt Delete that search history.
Hey,
And
okay.
National
You never know when it's
Cheese
coming.
Brownie Day.
Cream
Ew.
cheese.
I
That's a
think I've had
gentrification
one.
brownie.
Gentrification brownie.
What's a cream cheese brownie?
I'm not sure, but I think I've had one. I think
never
it's
had
really
that,
good.
but I will allow it though.
I
I think
I will allow
I think
that.
it tastes like a mix between a cheesecake and a brownie mixed
I'll just
together.
take the brownie. You can keep
Nah, what?
cheesecake is nasty.
All right.
Cheesecake is nasty.
Jesus said, "Whoa, yes, cheesecake is nasty, bro."
You are the
What's your
weirdest
favorite ice
taste.
cream?
Ice cream, butter pecan.
I did.
you
You did that on purpose.
Butter pecan is delicious.
That's
Come on.
disgusting. You
Butter pecan is nasty.
butter pecan. I did not
that's the
stutter. It's
oldest
disgusting.
Ice cream ever. Listen,
Butter pecan.
listen,
Butter pecan. It's nasty.
butter pecan is what your mama eats, your grandmother
It's
eats.
delicious.
It's
The vanilla part of it is delicious.
No,
the butter part. Butter pecan.
Bruh.
Butter
y'all-
pecan is an
that's a
old
whole-
ice
You're
cream.
tripping. Butter pecan.
My
is
mother
the
used to
greatest.
eat butter pecan. That's how I was introduced to it. Who introduced you to butter pecan?
Jesus.
It's old. Like I said, it's old.
Butter pecan is
He's
amazing.
eating that.
Y'all are tripping.
What is it?
What?
3,000
Cheesecake
BC.
and butter pecan. You don't like cheesecake, but you like butter pecan.
Yeah, cheesecake is like a sponge that decided it wanted to be a food.
What cheesecake did you eat?
Cheesecake Factory.
Cheesecake Factory cheesecake is not bad.
Bruh.
It's not
Depends
bad,
on what
but-
kind you get to.
If you don't get your
sponge?
big moist spongy cake, no,
What kind did you get?
I know. I'm trying to figure
all
this out.
cheesecake is built the same.
No,
it's
it's
built
not.
like cheesecake is like a pumpkin pie that got no pumpkins.
All right, so
You are making me
listen
so angry.
now. Sometimes the cheesecakes have layers in it, and so it might be possible that your cheesecake had a layer of cake in it.
I agree. He had the wrong cheesecake.
Nah,
When you go, what kind of cheesecake do you get?
I get the straw. I like the strawberry. Whatever.
Just the
strawberry.
plain with
Yeah,
strawberry?
plain,
You are the plainest dude ever.
I am. Hey, everybody know me. My favorite ice cream is vanilla ice cream.
Yeah.
oh my gosh.
By who though? By whom?
Doesn't matter.
It does matter,
It
Fred.
doesn't matter. No, it don't matter.
Fred like that ketchup cheesecake.
It's good. It's
See,
amazing.
look,
What are you talking
it's not
about?
even strawberry. It's ketchup.
All right, national.
All right, national.
Okay,
Nah,
sorry.
cheesecake round day,
Okay.
and let's go with this one. National Umbrella Day.
Hey, it's raining.
It's raining
It was
today.
raining the day we recorded.
Yeah,
Y'all own an umbrella?
yeah.
Okay.
Have you had the reverse umbrella?
No, I've seen it. I'm not sure if
I haven't maybe.
I
I
want it.
got it. I haven't had the opportunity to
use it.
remember that I have it.
I when I get an umbrella, I go to the sporting section and go to the golf and get the big ones.
Uh-huh.
That like, oof, that's what I need. The giant lawn
Oh, that's
garden circumference, the big ones, and they're pretty sturdy. So that's why I like to get my umbrellas.
I got a bad umbrella.
Yeah, you always gotta have one.
Yeah, brother, keep it in the
All umbrellas are not built the same. I think a umbrella is a good investment. Spend a couple dollars on a decent umbrella.
Yeah, get a good umbrella in your life.
Yeah, don't get those little $5 ones that the wind come and just take it away.
Take it away. All right. So we got a lot. Well, not really a lot, but we got a couple things to discuss this episode. We're in February, first episode of February,
Yeah.
right? And so February
No.
is the month of love. This is our first episode of February.
No.
Am I lying?
Yeah, we just had an episode last week.
What's today? Yeah,
Six.
I lied. This is our second episode of February, but we didn't think about this last week. So we're gonna be talking about different things that do with love and relationships. But before that,
Okay.
we talked about how we have these new segments. We don't bring them back. We got to bring back not an oldie but a goodie. It was a newie. We only did it one time. Fair or Pharisee?
Fair or Pharisee?
All right. Fair Pharisee. I got. What am I saying? All right. So I wanted to show you guys this song, right? And we'll let the guys listen. We'll let the listeners listen to it. And then the question is, and it may seem pretty straightforward at first, is this? I feel like I'm hearing a voice.
Yeah, I hear it too.
Squeaky.
Oh, is this song fair or is it pharisaical? What?
Bro, you just mixed pharmaceutical and Pharisee.
No, pharisaical is the word. Come on, help me out, Fred. You read.
Nah, I don't think pharmaceutical.
All right. Well, you know what? All right. So I'm gonna play the song. This song is called. It's such a beautiful name. I gotta put. I love it.
You love the song?
Love the
It grew on me. Like
After the second one.
I was like, oh, this all right. The second time I heard it, I think I love it. But there is a
Love is a strong word.
I have deep compassion and deep, strong feelings.
It's like it was made for Trump or something.
What, the song?
Yeah.
Well, you guys
Both.
hear it. You guys decide. Let us know what you think. I'm not gonna play the whole song, but we'll play a fair amount of it because I mean it kind of gets redundant, but it slaps. Hold on. Sunday morning. Remix.
I grew up in your churches. Sunday morning evening service.
Same, brother.
Melting tears at the foot of the rugged cross.
Hey, oh!
You taught me every life is sacred. Feed the hungry and clothe
Fred's phone
the
there.
naked. Learn from you the highest law is love.
Now, how do people go hear it if you wave your phone too?
And I believed you when you said that I should trust the words in red to guide my steps through a wicked world.
You got it. Oh, man.
Oh.
I assume you do the same. So imagine my dismay
Sing, brother.
when I watched you lead the sheep to the wolves. You said to love the lost, so I'm loving you now. You said speak the truth, I'm calling you out. Why don't you live the words that you put in my mouth? Be love overcome, and justice rolls out.
Turn it up.
Oh, they started putting kids in cages, ripping mothers from the babies. I looked to you.
All right. So we'll stop there. Now that song is from a worship leader. I don't think he's a huge worship leader. His name is Daniel Dietrich. Dietrich. I don't know how to spell his last name. Pronounce his last name.
What's the name of the song?
The name of the song is "Hymn for the 81," and what he's
81%.
81%. So let me look up the lyrics to this real quick. Lyrics to the hymn for the 81%. All right, and so dude, that is not what I looked up. But anyway, he wrote the song to the 81% of evangelicals that voted for Donald Trump.
Let's read.
For 45.
Maybe we should read this.
You got the lyrics?
I have a description.
Yes, thank you. That's what I'm saying. Jay's the man.
In 2016, 81% of white evangelical Christians voted for Donald Trump. See who I told you. After, among other things, hearing an audio recording of him bragging about sexually assaulting women. Maya Angelou, or Lo, famously said, "When someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time." I always tell that to my sons. In the years since, even after enacting deliberately cruel policies to rip families apart and put children in cages at the southern border, evangelical support is as fervent as ever. I was raised in the evangelical world. It shaped me. I learned to take the words of Jesus seriously. Love God, love your neighbors, feed the hungry, fight for justice for the oppressed. I thought that things like love, kindness, gentleness, and self-control mattered. I have been so confused and deeply saddened by the unflinching loyalty to a man who so clearly embodies the opposite of these values. This song is a lament. It's a loving rebuke. It's a plea for the 81% to come home to the way of Jesus.
All right. So here's the question.
Okay.
Is this a fair criticism or I guess criticism for lack of a better word, or is it self-righteous?
I'll start then. I think it's fair. I think it's fair. He has an opinion. He has a view that many would agree with, and he's making a plea, as the description states, to basically have your actions line up with the words that you read in the Bible.
Okay.
And he's saying, as the description describes, like, you're not doing anything you said. You're basically, I think he's saying that you're, what's the word? You've devoted yourself to Trump versus Jesus.
Right.
Like, he's saying, Trump says I'm a Christian, but his action says I'm not a Christian. But for some reason, no one's seeing that, and they continue to support him regardless. So, I mean, I agree. There's some craziness. We've all seen it. I don't think at this point he can do anything that surprises us.
But okay,
Go.
Now, I full disclosure again, I love
the song.
I think the chorus is kind of whack, but I like the song for a couple of reasons. I like it because I know, as an African American that grew up learning the Bible from white evangelicals, this was a sense that I and a lot of other people felt. Like, you said these things, but it's like you also kind of ignore it when it comes to 45. But to be fair, right? Not everyone, when he says him to the 81%, not every white evangelical that voted for Donald Trump voted for him under the pretense that he's suggesting in the song. Not everyone. And if you can't,
what he's saying is that 81% did, despite what they knew.
But then you could say that about anyone. You could say that about Hillary. You could say that about Obama, because where I agree with him is that we pick and choose what we choose to be angry about. But he is also doing that same thing, because so the godly Christian response was to vote for Hillary.
I'm not saying it was,
but I'm saying is that, I mean,
he never mentions Hillary. Hillary, and I mean, they were the only two choices up to a point.
Right.
So, I mean, my personal opinion is that more often than not, we're voting for the lesser of the evils that exist. It's like we're given a handful of people, and I guess at the end, you're voting for the lesser of two evils. Like, which one of the two can I live with? So
let me just give my fair Pharisee real quick, because I'm gonna be short. Because politically, I feel like it's a political song.
It is.
And so I do think it's fair. I have no deep reasoning behind it. I just want to because I know you got more to say, so I just want to get my.
So you think it's fair to say that 81%? I mean, because I'm saying, if you're saying it's fair that they're wrong for doing that, you would have to say that the opposite choice is the right choice.
You said it's fair. I think it was. I say it's fair for him to have a perspective of how can 81% of white evangelicals stand in agreement with someone who's opposed to biblical truths, some biblical truths.
Right. So then is if that is true, then how can anyone vote for Hillary Clinton?
So listen, here's the bigger point I think he's saying. It says in years since. So this is after he became president. Even after enacting deliberately cruel policies to rip families apart and put children in cages at the southern border, evangelical support is as fervent as ever.
Okay.
So it's not like, so this is after like so you made your vote.
Uh-huh.
All right, so fine. Now we seeing even more,
Mhm.
even like worse things are even coming out.
Mhm.
Yet you still remain faithful and in line with what. So it's like even after that. So we're past
Right.
the voting part, and now
Right.
he's saying you're still aligning yourself with this individual who is clearly doing things that are anti-Christ, if you will.
No, I think that's a fair point,
Well,
but I think then you transition from it being a him to the 81%. 81% of white evangelicals voted for Donald Trump. We don't know the current statistics that still support him since. And I mean, again, not a big fan of 45. I love the song. Speaks to my soul.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
But I read this quote on somebody's page that I wanted to read, and this says what I remember it saying. That this is it says, I feel, this is a quote from C.S. Lewis in the book Mere Christianity. He says, I feel a strong desire to tell you, and I expect you to feel a strong desire to tell me, which of these two errors is the worst. That the devil is getting at us. He always sends errors in the world in pairs of opposite. He always encourages us to spend a lot of time thinking about which error is worse. You see why, of course, he relies on your extra dislike of one error to draw you gradually into the opposite one. Do not be fooled. Do not let us be fooled. We have to keep our eyes on the goal and straight through between both errors. We have no other concern than that which is either of them. So that was a lot, but C.S. Lewis basically saying what the devil does is he uses these two maybe wrong things, and like you said, we're trying to pick one lesser to evil,
Right.
and then gets us trapped in arguing about which one is the worst error.
Right.
Now, in my self-righteous thinking and opinion, I think it would have been great if the second verse were to people who blindly support Democrats. Because, see, they'll say stuff about 45, and I think this quote, it puts, like, there's a lot of believers because of their dislike for 45 also do the same thing for the Democrat Party that white evangelicals do for Trump.
Sure.
And so now you have more believers that are like, things aren't sin. Everyone is like so fluid. Social justice becomes like a watered down term. So I think the heart of the song I like, and I feel where he's coming from.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But I think it would have been fairer if he would have had an additional verse flipped on both sides to kind of give another perspective, because both sides are lunching, whether you're Republican or Democrat. If you are blindly caping for your side and their foolishness.
His song was written to evangelicals who
Right.
support
True.
him.
Right.
White evangelicals who support him, not to Democrats or Republicans.
But I'm saying that's the problem. Why there's only one side?
No, there isn't. He's just evangelicals.
He just focuses
No sides, just evangelicals who are giving their support to him.
What about evangelicals who are giving?
I think that there are people who don't necessarily vote Republican,
right,
but have a loyalty to the president because he's the president.
Okay,
does that make sense?
Kind of, sort of.
It's like, well, you're the president, so I support my president,
Uh-huh.
regardless of what he does.
Okay,
and they might not they're like pro America versus anti Republican.
Okay.
So I don't think unless I believe you're trying to, you're painting the pictures that all white evangelicals are Republican.
Who, me?
Yeah.
No, not all white evangelicals are Republican.
Exactly.
You can't. Okay, what's that mean? Exactly what?
I just think he's just saying white evangelicals. I don't know if it's a political party per se. I guess it could be assumed that the 81% are Republican. The 81% that voted for him or that support him are Republican. Either way.
All right. Final verdict.
Final verdict.
If I'm all with you on this.
He's not. He don't be following politics.
I don't follow politics.
It's not about politics, but
it is clearly about politics.
I'm saying it's not about following politics. So how can you say that it's fair?
Like we talk about, I think it's fair from the perspective that he's giving his opinion about what he viewed from white evangelicals that we all three of us share about as far as, like, again, I know what you're saying at 81%. We don't know within the context of the 81%, like what they voted, like why their vote is, but all we do know is 81%, right? So what I'm saying is, I think he was just speaking to just that, which I agree, like, and I do agree there's a fair side, but I think his intent was just to address that issue. So I think that's fair because he has an opinion. It's an opinion on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pastor Blunt is going to be fair.
Yeah, fair. I agree. I agree it's fair. And yeah, I think it's just more so from a Christian standpoint. I agree. I think the description lays it out a little bit more clearly as to what he was trying to say and his view on, like, Christians being Christians. Like, if you say you're a Christian, then be a Christian. Align your walk with the text in the book, the good book.
Yeah. I disagree with that last part.
That's what he's saying.
So what do you say, fair or Pharisee?
He's saying, if you read he said, I read it, I believe the words you said in my mouth, but you're doing X,
yeah,
Y,
I
Z.
mean,
you're locking kids in cages.
You was once in love. You was just dancing to the song, put your
love
lights on.
Song. I love it with all my heart.
He's just adding some texture.
Yeah, I'm saying
to the
there's
podcast.
not another side to. I'm saying there's still, even though I do love it, I agree with it.
Yeah.
Objectively, right? Like, for instance, let's just go left. I think John Gray is trash. Is it fair for me to call John Gray trash?
Whoa.
I have to objectively.
No, do you have the right to? You have the right to.
I see that one
I
coming.
mean, I have the right to, but also, like, is it?
Pause. Why is he trash though?
Bro,
I knew Tech was going. I know you felt that way. I just think you gonna put it out on the
Give me a spiel. Why is he trash? Because he's like commercial? You think he's a little commercial?
No, I don't. There is nothing of substance that I think comes out of his mouth. The things that he does, I think, is foolish. He actually reminds me of a close relative who is a, what's the word? Not psychopath, sociopath. And
these are some strong comments right here.
Yeah, but this is my point.
This should have been fair or Pharisee. Go ahead.
This is my point because though I feel strongly, I have to be objective and say to myself, that might be pharisaical for me to say these things. So even though I love the song, I love him for the 81. It's a slaps. Sing it. Shock is a cage, so I'm calling you out. I love it.
Yeah.
But objectively speaking, I do think sometimes as believers who may not be a big fan of 45, which I am not at all, we do get caught up in, I think somebody told me one time, it's a thing in psychiatry, I don't know what it's called, but people tend to gather based upon what they disagree with versus what they agree with.
Yeah.
And so I think because sometimes as believers, because of our not anti-45ness, but anti that whole thing, it sometimes pushes us and then you end up doing the same thing that they're doing for your side.
Sure.
And so even though, and so I don't like Democrats either, but I'm just saying in general, just being objectively, I'm just trying to say, is it fair? And in my personal opinion, I think it's fair. I think it's necessary. I'm going to give it 10%.
You don't
of
think
fair
it's
teachers.
completely fair? Because you don't
I
think
it's
it
fair for the
addresses
most part. I don't
both
think
sides
It's completely fair.
of the
I think
fence.
it could have been fairer. But all right, sorry, John. Sorry, John Gray.
You're not sorry.
You got
Bro,
If he
no,
walked in the room
in the
now,
same category of John MacArthur?
I
you?
have more respect for John MacArthur than I have for John Gray.
Wow.
Yeah, there go right.
Wow.
At least John MacArthur, I think he believes what he says.
So,
Wow.
John Gray, I think
You are going all the.
Where's my tightest jeans and my tightest suit jacket? All right, God, forgive me. Fred is trying to give me my
Don't ask for forgiveness now. You said
Forgive
it.
me, Fred made me bite the apple.
Fred's trying to give me my flesh, Lord.
I'm just,
you
you offered up that information. Go ahead.
You made me. Okay, so yeah, moving on. So I guess it's fair. The verdict is in fair. All right. So we're in February. We're trying to talk about love, right? I was trying to think of a cool name for it, maybe like awkward love, but awkward love.
Let's not.
But I think there are a couple of things that have to do with relationships that maybe sometimes in the church we don't talk about. Like everybody always talks about singleness. Whew, even though I did hear this message by somebody that got me in the flesh, they were talking about singleness.
Mm-hmm.
It was like a big pastor.
Give me the quote.
He was like, singleness is not that singleness is awesome, but he did the thing that I hate the most. Like he's married, he's going home to have sex with his wife, and he's at this church telling all his single people, man, you guys awesome. And singleness is not necessarily a bad thing.
It's not.
But if you're gonna say like singleness is the greatest thing in the world, then stop smashing your wife every night and just, you know what I mean? Like let's not put sauce on it. But I diverge. You guys will get me on these tangents. What?
You are live
Quiet
today,
today,
dog.
buddy.
You are live today.
This side of the table is quiet.
I'm just saying, like you don't remember that. Being single. I remember being single. And these pastors talking about you guys just don't know. Singleness is great.
They might be, their marriage might not be so hot right now.
Wow.
But that's what I'm saying.
They might be wishing they were single.
I just feel like people lie and they put sauce on and not that singleness is a bad thing, but I think, singleness is something that you should use while you have it. Because, the time will change and things will be different. But don't try to put sauce on it when you going home and sheet shacking.
Sheet shacking.
Sheet shacking. Man. You know what I mean? Like,
if I could be a fly on the wall in your house.
What? Loins are warm and freaking people.
What?
He is.
Sorry.
Hey. Let's see that bottom.
Let me move my phone.
All right. What was I saying? Y'all just
we don't even know anymore. I think we're about to close it. Are we done? We've gotten a mouthful.
Okay, so
from the abundance of the heart.
Amen. So, but I wanted to avoid all the typical relationship stuff.
All right.
Okay.
Even though we are going to be talking about fornication.
Okay.
How to keep it tucked.
Whoa. Today?
Not today.
Okay. My mind wasn't prepared for that conversation.
They's like, whoa.
That's next week. Next week we talk about fornication.
All right. I'm gonna have to go to Planet Fitness next week.
What
to prepare for that conversation.
How does Planet Fitness
get my mind right?
Prepare for fornication. Okay. So that's next week.
Yes.
Okay. This week we're talking about, which isn't directly on dating. It may even seem kind of opposite, but like how to have healthy. Hold on, my mic broke. All right, there we go.
I thought can is a question.
Can.
Right?
Yeah, can.
And
not how to.
Both. Can.
Can.
And if you can, how to.
Okay.
can there be a healthy brother-sister relationship between two people, between a man and a woman who are not dating? Like, how close can they get without it becoming
Romantic.
romantic? And is that the will of God, that we should have these boundaries with each other? Like,
That was the boundaries part sounded weird. What?
but it is boundaries. Like,
Of course there are boundaries, but you asking, is it the will of God that we have them?
that we have these. But like, I don't have boundaries with you because we might start doing it.
Hey,
I'm just
we're gonna have to put some type of disclaimer in this episode.
I'm just saying, like, with guys, they're not that boundaries, but like when it comes to like a woman, we put these boundaries.
There
like,
are boundaries here.
okay,
They're unspoken. They're known, but there are boundaries. I know my worth.
You got Jason nervous.
Gotta earn it.
You gotta earn it. Okay. But I'm saying, like, we treat it different. It's easy to have.
I'm about to quit.
It's easy to have brotherly relationships,
Uh-huh.
but not as easy to have brother and sister relationships.
Mm.
And there's a lot that we can learn from each other. And is this how God intended it?
Okay.
These boundaries. So I guess we can start off with this. Do you think a man and a woman can have a close friendship, like a legit,
Describe that. Can you unpack that?
like a close?
What does that look like?
Pray for each other, there for each other.
Sure.
Secrets. I don't know. Like a close friendship, or how close do you think? Do you think there's only so close that a man and a woman can get before it starts to get romantic?
Keep going.
All right, so I'm married, but I'm about to. You good? I'm married,
Okay.
but my comment is about to be for a person or for two
For you.
individuals who
Jason speaking for himself
are
right now.
for two individuals who are single.
Okay.
I believe that it is possible to have a close brother-sister relationship. I believe that I think some boundaries, it just depends. It's hard to say. Cause all right, so depends on when the relationship started too. Because some people are not, that's me. Some people are not related, but they grow up close to each other.
Mhm.
Right.
So they're in their youth, they have these, they grow up like family. They can grow up like family. You know what I mean? So when that happens, it's hard to, I won't say tear apart those bonds and those connections, because you can see a person as your literal, brother or sister. Then
Is that how it should be?
yeah, I do. I think it's easier for me to do that. Definitely because I'm married and my attention and focus is and attraction is totally on my wife. But when you get older, and let's say you didn't grow up, or you create a bond or a friendship with another person who's of the opposite sex, I think it would be smart, like if you are getting close, I still think that it should not be boundaryless or without, it's just not, certain things are just, it's smarter to do things certain ways. Because my church is pretty young and there are a lot of young people there, and we're all family and we all say we're family. But it's just smarter to do things like if you're gonna hang out in groups or hang out together with other friends, and just keep
Joshua Harris.
just be smart about it. And even if there's no sexual chemistry or anything like that, or you have no intention, I just think certain things you should just be smart about how things look. And let's say I think that if I'm a single guy and I'm spending all my time or a lot of my time with another female I see as a good friend, and there's another woman who may be attracted to me or want to talk to me,
Right.
she could assume that this other person is my, that we're. It's a lot of things that could happen.
Is this how? Like, is this how it should be though? Like,
I just think some safeguards are necessary. What you got, Fred?
I was trying to figure out how I'm gonna answer this because, so I'm gonna answer it like this. I guess I just, judge me.
okay,
But I don't think that. I don't think so. I don't think that from a friendship level that you're speaking of, like deep friendship.
Uh-huh.
All right, let me take it from an aspect of if you're single, I don't think I think it's possible. I think that it's very tough. I'll put it this way, in my opinion, I think it's very tough if you're attracted to the other person for it not to become romantic, or for not that anything will happen, but for like feelings won't get caught up. Even if nothing happens, like feelings would get caught up, and one person is hanging around for not the friendship, but just waiting for that opportunity.
Right, but okay, let me ask you a question.
All right.
What if the person is, because attraction is different from being attractive. So they're like, what if the person is attractive, but you're just not attracted to them? Like, can you control your attraction?
Say it again.
You've already stated that you're not attracted, but they are attractive.
But I'm saying, is that possible? Like, can you control your attraction to a person? Because I think that comes down to the root of it too. Like, we think of attraction as being a uncontrollable thing. Like, I just can't help. I'm just attracted to that person or to a person. Can you control your attraction to someone?
How can I put this? I think it's hard.
Bruh, is that Jesus and Dragon Ball Z on your shirt?
Yeah. My sister got this for me. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, go ahead. It distracted me. I just saw white Jesus surrounded by Goku.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
All
right, don't give no thug. Okay, go ahead.
But they make me lose a train of thought. I think it's
control your attraction.
I talk from my personal experience when it's hard. It becomes tough, like when you're single, and when it becomes because like you have vulnerable moments. Like I think it becomes like. I think it becomes tough. I think it's hard, like you talk about just a friendship level, to constantly battle your attraction. Like I believe like it's like a weird type of friendship in my opinion. Like were you always trying to battle like, okay, I'm not gonna be attracted to this person, like, but we're gonna still be friends. Like I think, like I mean, like I don't know. I think that's like a weird friendship. Now I'm not saying it's right. I'm just speaking like. I think it's hard. I think it's hard, in my personal opinion, with whether the male is attracted to the female or female attracted to the male. I think it's tough. I think that's when it becomes tough. But I think if there's no attraction, whether that person's attractive or you just attracted to them for personality reasons, I think it's definitely easier because there's not like, it's easier to become like that deep of a friend, build a deeper friendship.
Yeah, okay. I guess still like, and the only way I can think about it is a weird way. So like, typically, it depends on where you are in the world, or whatever. Most brothers and sisters aren't attracted to each other.
Sure.
Yep.
Their sister or brother can be attractive.
Yeah.
But they don't have an attraction to that person.
Right.
Because that is their brother or that is their sister.
Sure.
Yep.
Why does that only translate into a family situation, but that can't translate into a body situation? Like, you even have a unique situation, right? There's still family there, but people see each other as brother and sister.
I guess. What unique situation? You got me confused.
With your kids.
With my kids?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But they see each other as family.
But that's what I'm saying. Like,
But they were young. They grew up together in the same household. So they all got spankings together. We ate at the same tables. They were raised for a number of years under the same household. So, I mean,
is it possible to view the opposite sex as family?
of course it is. We know it's possible.
Yeah.
Well, how do we do it? Because I mean,
I think it happens naturally. I'm not sure if it's something that we necessarily work at controlling. You know, it happens. It happens. Sometimes connections are just like that, and it could happen quickly, or it could happen over a long period of time where you're like, man, you feel like family. You know, I never let Fred in my house, but you could come over, Fred.
Oh, thank you.
But oh, sorry.
That's all.
But yeah. So I mean, those bonds can happen.
But I think that question that you asked is not totally. I know that's the only one you could figure out, but I think that's not a great comparison because, like, I mean, as family. I mean, if you go into the church, like, you're not going in to from a spiritual aspect. You're thinking that's family, but
right.
I mean, these are definitely as a single woman or single man. Like, you walk in there,
All potential mates.
Yeah,
But
just like,
I wonder though. That's what I'm saying. Like, is that a problem? It goes. My main question is, like, is the way we do this thing the way God intended it? That there has to, and I'm not saying it isn't, but there has to be this distance between men and women, because if we don't have this distance, we all just gonna end up having sex. So somebody's gonna end up wanting somebody in some type of romantic type of way. Like, there's not a way that we can.
I think we call each other brother and sister because we are all devoted to the same cause and mission.
Okay.
That we're brother and sister in. We literally say in Christ.
mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Obviously, He put us here for a reason, to be fruitful, multiply, procreate, all the good stuff. So I mean, there are purposes outside of that as well. So, we're brother and sister in the cause and in the mission. But outside of that, naturally, I mean, God has created women to be attractive to men and vice versa.
Right.
So He's designed us to be attracted to each other. We work together. We function in, you know, that's how we were designed. However, if there is a brother-sister relationship, like in the church, the initial question was, can you have a brother-sister relationship? And my answer to that is yes, you can have it. However, if your intention is to marry and do some of those other things, you have to be considerate of your future spouse, or, you know, there's a lot of things you have to be considerate of. I don't think you should just be wilding out with, I don't say wilding out, but the opposite sex. You know, a sister in church, y'all hanging out all the time, y'all going out, y'all sharing secrets, y'all calling each other on the phone. Like, y'all in a relationship now. You don't even call. All right, so like, you don't even call your own brother that much or your own sister that much. Like, we call people we're interested in probably more so than we, you know, talk to our significant others. You know,
and maybe it could just be my experience, but like the way you describe that, like, I can't see how it's not like an agenda. I know it's a strong word, but like, if I'm calling up somebody on sharing secrets on a regular basis, and, you know, there's an attraction there, like I don't know how that's not.
Attractions can evolve too.
And it could and it could evolve too. Like I don't know how. And again, this is I just never seen it. Now again, I'm not saying that. Obviously, we're talking about like friendship, deep friendship level. I'm not talking about like obviously seeing someone of the opposite sex and like that you praying for them or you genuinely care for them. But we're talking about like. I want to put that in context. We're talking about deep friendship, like you said, like y'all going out, hanging out every week, going to the movies.
You said brother, sister.
Yeah, like
family.
Like family. Like I hit y'all up mostly. We have a group text. Like
But would you do that with a woman?
Like as a married man?
As a man?
Nah, bro. You see, you can't say as a man.
Why? I'm saying
because we were speaking as a single individual.
Okay.
Now, as married men, then it changes up.
Why?
Why what?
Why does it change up?
I call my wife and ask her, is it cool for me to be in the group
boundaries,
text with
bro.
other women?
but
I wouldn't even want to be.
You're the only person that could call me at night when I'm in the bed with my wife. I'd be like, it's tech. And she'd be like, all right.
But I mean, I get it. My thought is,
bro, you talking like, hold on.
Go ahead,
Are
Jason.
you allowed, you talking like in your houthousehold?
let me tell you.
Listen, go ahead. You sitting back. Look at your posture.
Calm, like,
What?
go ahead, ask him, Jason.
You talking like, yeah. Go ahead, keep it up.
Say it.
You talking like you getting texts and phone calls from females who are just friends at hour of the night who just want prayer.
No, I mean I have
Acquaintances,
friends who are like close, but close is a strong word. But like people from like Glory Cloud or like my friends' wives.
And when the last time you spoke to
never
exactly.
Yeah.
And
But
you called
that's what I'm
you
saying.
call them a friend, and you don't even have the type of relationship that you describe for brother and sister. Like these are close friends. Like
yeah.
So? It's not going to happen.
But why? And
because
this
you have
how
to
it's
have
supposed to be.
Yes, bro.
From where? How can we base this? Like, how do we know that this is just not?
Angel himself had to come to Joseph and was like, "Hey, bro, your wife's pregnant." Like God had to clear it up. It's not going to happen.
Jesus had women that followed him.
Yeah, from afar.
No,
he had the 12. He had the 12 immediately around him.
They were with him. Fred, don't come on.
Okay, but in that, because there's a beliefs out there that Jesus was, like people, which is not true. But I mean, even in that, like they were followers. It wasn't like, I don't know. I just feel like that's a different context and the aspect of like there was like kind of like Jason was saying, like go together as groups. Like they was in. I don't remember us.
Bruh, Jesus and Mary Magdalene.
From
all appearances, and Martha were pretty close.
Yes. But like
being close with someone,
I don't understand.
They hanging out by themselves.
Yeah, like he
was over there.
Late night kites.
He was over there with his
and it was all being documented. Everything was being documented. Somebody was behind them, like, she's got her hair out. She got her hair out. Like,
I believe that you could have, but I mean that's weird because I mean I believe that. We're not saying, and I know you're not trying to insinuate this, but
yes, he is.
I could love my fellow sisters and brothers in Christ. I could have like that type of love in the faith enough to care for them. But again, I think that's important about the context. We're talking about like deep friendship. I think that's tough to have, in my opinion. I know you guys would say this, but my opinion, when there's an attraction there.
But why?
And forget attraction. If you marry, you still gotta cut.
But
I guess my thought
I'm gonna send this straight. I can't wait for this to come out. I can't wait. I'm sending this straight to the missus.
I'm just saying. I'm not saying that.
Nope, it's too late. We already an hour in.
He can't clean it up.
I'm just saying. Is this are we as Christians, just doing things because this is how all it's always been done. Like I think about the scripture with Jesus rebuking the Pharisees, and he says, "You teach the traditions of men as if they are, scripture." I forgot how he said it. Like they're from God. I think we never really have honest and good conversations about the brother-sister relationships between men and women and how they should be. And so there is always this distance between men and women. I feel like we could learn from each other.
No, but
We can.
How like there are amazing women in my life that I am learning from, but I'm not like deep friends from. Like how come not
But
having
why do we need to set these boundaries? Because I think I wonder, I'm not gonna say I wonder if we're teaching that everything has to be sexual, everything has to be romantic.
It's about being safe. It's about the appearance of evil. It's about all of that. It's about creating safe places, safe spaces for both individuals to do whatever they need to do. If you can learn from one another. I agree. There's a lot we can learn from one another as humans. Forget male and female for the moment, but just as humans, there's a lot we can learn and grow from one another. However, we are who we are. We're human. The heart is what the heart is. The eyes are what they are. And I think that it's safer.
Okay.
It's not always about what someone will do or it's people are people. And I just think
No, go ahead, just finish your thought. I'm sorry.
I just think that it's the safest thing to I wouldn't suggest if I was a leader at a church and I had a group, a large member, or even 10 people or 12 people, I would like, young people, y'all go ahead and y'all can, just be brothers and sisters, hang out alone. I just wouldn't set anybody up for a potential failure in that regard.
I mean, I get it, and I get that train of thought, and I think that's the predominant thought, but it's like, I wonder if we're so bad at it because we don't teach it. We never tried.
Well, let me ask you a question then. What, and again, I think another thing, I don't know if you're insinuating this, it doesn't always have to end in sex that we're talking about. Like, if you attract
everything
somebody,
ends in sex, Fred.
Okay. But I'm just saying, like, and I'm asking you guys this question, would it be considered like a true friendship, right? If like one or both parties are genuinely attracted to it, nothing's going to happen. But like, that's the reason why you're hanging out with them. Like, there's some type of attraction there. Is that?
I don't think that's healthy.
And I have a thought on this.
Okay.
And just jumping all out the window.
Okay.
There is this false, fake thought that attraction is sin, and it's not. It is the acting on it.
Nobody. Okay.
But I'm saying, like, when you,
it's not a sin to act on attraction, is it?
It depends on the situation. So, like,
it depends on what the act is too.
It depends on what the act is. But like in that situation, okay, what if the two people?
I don't think it's healthy for a person to hang. He said that the reason why you're hanging out with them is simply because you're attracted to that person, and there's only one of the parties.
Yeah, and then I'm just saying, like, that's like healthy. It's not for me. That's not considered true friendship. I feel like it's an agenda behind it. Like, it's like a waiting game.
No, yeah, what if they're attracted and they're like, I am attracted to this person, but I'm going to maintain my boundaries. I'm going to maintain them.
What's wrong with that?
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. You said there's an agenda behind it. Like,
I didn't say agenda.
What do y'all said agenda?
I said agenda.
Okay.
So you saying?
Why you get so sassy?
I am what?
Go ahead, sassy Fred.
I said I am.
I need to sew some pants.
All right.
Sassy pants for you.
Try to get me.
You just stirring up the pot.
He trying
to get sassy.
Dog, all I said, I am.
Go ahead, sassy Fred.
Okay. All right. Good thing I prayed before I came here.
Did you?
His nostrils are flaring up, though.
No, what I'm saying is, I guess, and again, I could be wrong. This could be like a wrong thinking thing, but this is just my viewpoint. It's just that, like, even though, like you said, like if I'm single and I'm attracted to someone, and I know, like, it's just on my end, I may hang around and wait for, like, that person either to share that, like, for an attraction to evolve on that person's end. But, like, I feel like would I call that a true friendship though?
But I think I see what you're saying. But what I'm saying is, we don't teach people how not to do that. Like, we don't have those conversations. We think because that may be someone's natural thing that they may do. But where is it where leaders and other people come and say, this is the best way to do this, so this is how you have a healthy relationship with someone.
What does that look like, though?
Yeah, I was going to ask if you had any suggestions.
In a realistic sense. Like, okay, let's put you in the category, you single, right?
Let's put your child, a daughter. Let's pretend you had a daughter.
That's a better example.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, how would you suggest?
Suggest what?
That your daughter handle and navigate.
Well, daughter is different.
See,
if I'm a dad,
sexist.
I'm a dad.
I really felt and sensed that your perspective was from this male chauvinist viewpoint.
Oh my God,
you're so sassy. Stop.
I would be the opposite.
I felt like this was a sexist viewpoint that he had. Was like, what's the problem? My sons can hang out with your daughters whenever. That doesn't mean they're going to do it. That's the way it felt.
That's because you're a Republican. What I am saying,
I felt from your
is
end
that we don't teach. We don't teach.
How would you tell a young lady to now? What would you suggest a young lady do?
Before that, what I'm saying is we don't teach each other how to have respectful relationships, because it's actually coming from the opposite. So that as men, all the time, it's like, can you have a regular relationship with a woman without trying to pursue them? Because what happens a lot of times, just from my perspective, if a man is not romantically interested or sexually interested in the woman, some men tend to ignore them, because it's like, there is nothing that I want from you.
Well, that's because people are leading with their eyes. And that's why I think that if you have a system, or if you have a community where people are together and they are, it's always when I'm talking, they are talking and they're engaging with one another and they're communicating and they're getting to know one another,
right?
And they're expressing ideas and different types of things that they're creative, passionate about. And so you learn about one another. And that way it's not just about a particular look. You see what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
So then a guy or a girl can feel however they want to feel, and it's not about pursuing based on just looks. Because I've seen that just because a person they have great aesthetics, when they open their mouth, it's like, man, what a disappointment you are.
I know, but I'm saying even beyond looks, like typically,
yes, I agree with you on the typically, and that's why I said what I said. Why I believe that learning how to cultivate genuine relationships and getting to know people is more important, or should be the thing that is taught.
But that's what I'm saying. You
didn't say that.
That's what I'm saying. We don't teach that in the church. How to, if you're not sexually or romantically, not just beyond looks, but like just if you're not trying to pursue somebody for that, how do you? I know a lot of men subconsciously tend to ignore women because it's like, I don't want anything from you. But that's not right. Like, how do we develop honest relationships with people of the opposite sex that don't turn sexual, don't turn romantic?
Okay, but I guess it's just for me to get clarity from you. I have stated that I believe that you can do that if there's no attraction there. But I'm just saying, like, I'm just talking about if you're attracted to that person, right? I'm saying I feel like that you're saying that, oh no, you could just temper your attraction and you could still develop a deep friendship with the opposite sex. And I disagree with that, but I'm assuming that you're saying no, you could still do it. I agree with you if there is no attraction there, if there is no agenda there, then
you also just so you saying if you're not attracted to somebody, you can talk to them late at night. And not late at night, but if you're not attracted to somebody, you can develop a close friendship with them and tell them
as a single,
as a guy and a girl, single, married man, whatever.
No, I'm not doing the married man thing.
Okay.
No, I think that's a different context when you talk about single versus married, in my opinion, because it's boundaries. Whatever, it's not about the attraction; it's just boundaries as far as with between me and my wife and everything like that. But I guess my question is more so of, and again, it could be because it's not my experience and it's not the people I've been around experience. It's just like someone who is genuinely has an attraction or used to they like that person didn't share the same feelings mutual. If they were still cool or friends and hanging out, because they was waiting.
But what if they're not attracted? Can they still talk on the phone? Hang out. And
no, I'm just
like we're not attracted.
No, but I'm just saying. I thought the question was, is it possible for that to happen, to develop a genuine friendship, deep friendship? I think it's more realistic and possible and it's easier to do that if there's no attraction. I think it's harder to do develop a genuine friendship if there is an attraction.
Yeah, I mean that would be obvious, but I'm saying, is it in that situation? We don't ever talk about that, is what I'm saying. Like, we don't ever talk about how do you develop a genuine brother and sister relationship that does not lead to attraction. So if we saw two people who
does not lead to, you can't control that.
That may be the wrong word, but if we saw two people who had a deep relationship, who are male and female, the assumption would be, oh, those two are dating, or those two are attracted to each other.
Of course.
But what if they just said we're not attracted to each other? Well,
then that's what we would learn. It's just that first, we'll get your mic and see if you can. So you don't cut yourself off.
Gotcha.
But because I mean, if men and women have a great relationship and people outside looking in, it looks like what a good relationship looks like. It looks like they're either dating or that they that's what it looks like. That's what it can look like.
Okay. Yeah. But I'm saying, why can't we have more of those non-attraction relationships, just brother-sister relationships?
I think that they can exist. As a married man, I just don't think. Do you desire to have one?
No. Why does it have to be?
I just want to know.
No.
We're here
but
together.
I'm saying in general, if we're talking about things that we need to do better, is what we're doing right? It doesn't. And I think that implies the problem. I think that implies the problem that we think everything has to have an agenda. Like, we can't even back up why we think the way we think.
What do you mean?
Like, okay, we're from the Bible.
Why are you
right?
so loud?
We're from the Bible. Can we establish these trains of thought?
And man, when we was talking about it, I can't think of a scripture that supports my line of thinking.
Okay, exactly. But we will argue somebody down.
No,
that this
I could find
something. But hold on. On the same token, where in the Bible that supports exactly your line of thinking, though?
It's not my line of thinking. I'm just saying, is this a conversation that we need to have?
Or the conversation that we need to have. Where's in the Bible that
I think it talks about us having a brotherly, and the assumption would be sisterly relationship as believers.
But why does that have to insinuate a deep friendship, though?
That question is so confusing me. I don't even know that. Like,
again, a brother, I could have a like. What I'm saying is,
it's brotherly.
Brotherly, sisterly love. Like to have a brotherly, sisterly love for. I can have a brotherly, sisterly love for someone without going to the movies with them every day.
Who said anything about going going to the
But
movies.
that's what the conversation is about. We
They
talking
said
about a
hanging
deep
out,
friendship.
doing
You
all
said-
this other stuff.
when you hang out with
Dog,
people you
I
are close
before we
to.
talked about it, I said clarify what do you mean by friendship, because that's important to the context of the conversation.
Whatever a friendship is, I mean, what do friends do?
There are
They
levels to
hang out.
friendship. Like I have a
There are
deeper,
levels.
Yeah, I have a
job.
deeper friendship with you guys than I have with somebody that I work with. I call them like a friend, but they're not like my deep friend. That's what I'm saying to you.
Okay, I'm lost in the semantics of it. The obvious thing is friendship, like a deep friendship between. Man, I didn't know we need to count how long they went to the movies, what time they went to the movies, to determine whether or not it is.
Just trying to make it work. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
I'm trying to patronize, dog. Like, look.
How does that matter? Like, do you having a relationship with another woman on the same level that you have with your sisters? Is that possible? Now, if you want to be literal and say, "Well, I do this, I go to the park," I think to be literal doesn't make sense. I'm just saying, can a man and woman have a close friendship without it always having to determine?
I think it's possible.
Okay.
I think it's possible. But I think it's possible that they can have it. However, at some point, I think I said this before, at some point, I think that they should, I believe I said this already. I don't know. But if a male and female have a close bond or relationship and they're both single and they have no intention of connecting a deeper relationship beyond a friendship, I think at some point they should consider how that relationship could possibly affect the connection or bond they may have or may try to develop with someone who they do want to pursue as far as a relationship goes, like a actual relationship where there's an attraction. I think they should consider that. That's what I believe I said earlier. Because as we know, if a female comes in and you're close to it, she might not be comfortable with the amount of time you're talking to. Like, there's a lot of situations that could come in place. I think it's possible, but I think that at some point the amount of, I don't know, it should be considered. Or at least it should be considered. It has to be considered.
But hold on.
Go.
Going back to your brother sister point.
Okay.
And there's obviously different dynamics with relationships, even with brothers and sisters. There's obvious and natural boundaries within a brother-sister relationship, naturally. So if I look at my brothers, if I look at a brother and sister in Christ, there's going to be like boundaries there also, but for different reasons. Obviously, there's like natural boundaries again for like a blood brother and sister. So why would it be weird for it to be boundaries within the context in a spiritual sense?
I gotta be honest with you, I'm confused. You don't have to look at Jason. I'm confused. I'm saying,
Okay.
Break it down to
like,
Okay, what I'm saying is, I feel like what Jason is saying and what I am saying a little bit is just like it can happen, but there is some sort of boundary there within male and female brothers, like male and female.
and is that boundary solely because they're female?
I believe he's saying that the boundaries are there because they're naturally occurring boundaries because they're brother and sister. Is that what you're saying?
What I'm saying is there's some natural. Maybe you didn't say this, which happens a lot of those podcasts.
Well, you guys have been inferring.
But what I'm saying is,
that I haven't been saying all day.
But what I'm saying is, I feel like that you saying that boundaries. So, are you saying boundaries are thrown out the window? Like we shouldn't talk about boundaries when we're talking about in the church, brother and sister relationship. There's no point of boundaries.
Never said anything close to that.
Okay.
I'm saying, again, I'm just asking a question.
Okay. You're doing a lot of asking.
Is the way that we do and the strong boundaries that we set up between men and women when it comes to brother-sister relationships, is that the way that God intended it? Do you guys think that that's the way God
Yes.
intended it? Or is it based upon our lack of self-control or our lack of the conversation being had about how to have brother and sister relationships?
So
with
what's
Christ?
wrong with the strong boundaries
Yes.
that we set, with the way we teach it? What's wrong with it?
Well, I'm not necessarily saying that something's wrong with it. I'm asking.
Well, no, I'm
Okay,
asking
just
back to you. And
But if I was to look for something, some would say that this leads to some of the sexual stuff. Like, because some women feel more comfortable, they feel more comfortable having a brother relationship with a guy than a guy feels with a woman.
I agree.
And sometimes I feel like as men that we are on this pursue thing. We just view women as what we can get from them, not necessarily sexually, but also like a relationship. So like if I'm not interested in you, or if I'm not interested in you romantically or sexually, then we don't really need to talk. For women, some women, they can have a regular friendship with a guy, and it becomes weird. Now, my question, without it becoming weird, my question is this something that is natural and it's okay, this is how God made it? Or is this something as men and as human beings we need to look at differently and say, I need to work on developing better relationships with the opposite sex?
Now, I could be reaching, I could be wrong, but would you say that one of the God ordained boundary is marriage? Because, and from this aspect, is that if marriage, one of the things about marriage is that, we have desires, we have pleasures for the opposite sex, and when we
Before marriage.
before marriage, and
Mhm.
when we get married, we are able to express ourselves with the freedom of doing that, right? So, do you think that? And I didn't finish this train of thought when I was thinking through it, but do you think that maybe God has already set a sort of boundaries as far as that interaction between male and female through marriage?
I don't know. Part of me would lean more toward no. I wonder, and I'm curious, not saying this fact, if this is, and it may sound wild, more of a Western culture thing. There may be other cultures where the men and the women have closer relationships, and there's not a concern about it becoming sexual or romantic.
But that's what I'm saying. I think in the context of boundary, like in the context of boundary of marriage, you could take two married couples, and I think in that avenue there is, to a certain extent, safety in there, as opposed to people who are single. I believe that, like, a part of a boundary there, like if I'm married, if I have me and my wife was best friends with someone else and their wife, I believe that it's easier to develop some type of deeper friendship with the opposite sex, because you are in the safety. If you're doing everything you're supposed to do, each party doing everything they're supposed to do, there's a safety in the boundary of marriage to be able to do that. That makes sense.
I guess, but that would just be your thought. I'm saying, like, I think we agree on the potential dangers.
Yeah.
And maybe that's not clear. I agree with you on the potential dangers. My main question is, are those potential dangers natural, designed from God, or are they because of a lack of dealing with this issue? And you say you think so. It's natural.
I think it's natural. Because I think it's natural. You can't procreate with your family without creating, most of the time you'll have a child that has a disorder, I think, right? A lot of people. Not people,
it's not
but
encouraged.
Huh?
It's not encouraged.
It's not encouraged because there's a strong possibility that, and that happens naturally. Like it's already the DNA. The way that works is like, if you're too close, you can't do that, or it won't work out, bro. It was likely.
Okay.
So that can be maybe thought of as a sort of safety net, perhaps. And then, I don't think that naturally you I don't know. I just think naturally you just don't look at your brother and sister that way. I just think if no one tells you not to, it just happens, right? Or am I wrong?
I mean, I get that's the thing. Like, I don't know what it's like personally to have a sister relationship with someone. Cause I never.
Well,
had
what about your
sisters.
brother? Never looked at him interestingly?
No, you freak. But I'm saying like,
It happens.
I think like, I think, and you said like if I had a daughter, I'm thinking about for my sons, I want them to be able to treat every woman respectfully, like they were their sister.
Sure.
And so I think that's not a big conversation that is being had.
But how
It's easier when they're younger, but when they get older, they start learning, developing, hormones start kicking in.
But can you say your statement again, please? I'm sorry.
What statement?
That you just said.
That you just said.
That I want them to be able to have a healthy, be able to develop healthy brother-sister relationships and treat women like their sisters and treat them good.
Okay. I guess I don't know. I guess I'm just hearing some like I don't see how. I feel like I never mind.
You can't. You
I
cannot
can't do that.
not do that.
I can't do that on the podcast.
You cannot
Look,
not do that.
I guess my question is like, how come you can't raise boys or men to treat women with respect, to treat them like everything that you're saying?
Mm-hmm.
Why does that have to involve being in deep friendship?
Again, we keep going back to this thing of deep friendship, and maybe I tripped myself by falling into defining deep friendship by specific actions. When I say deep friendship, I'm thinking a legit, genuine friendship, like a brother and sister relationship. And right now,
Because
we don't have
there are
that?
certain things that brothers and sisters can do. Like you can hang out with your, like if I had a sister, right? I could hang out with my sister right now and my wife wouldn't have an issue with it probably.
Okay.
Because we're like, oh, it's your sister.
Yeah.
Right? You're just hanging out with your sister. Like nothing would come across in her mind like that would be an issue. Right?
Right.
We can hang out all night, all day with my sister if I had a sister.
Okay.
No problem. And my wife would be okay with it.
Mhm.
But if I did that with just a woman,
Sister in Christ.
a sister in Christ,
Uh-huh.
who there was no attraction to,
All right.
and I'm treating her as if she is my blood sister, that would probably be an issue there.
Agreed.
Would you agree?
Nobody's saying that it wasn't.
Right.
It wouldn't be.
And why would that be an issue?
But that is
I'm
the
asking you,
question.
why would it be an
I
issue?
think because culturally we are, myself included, we're insecure. We think that every man and woman are smashing or have the potential to smash. I think we have an over-sexualized, over-romanticized culture. And so we see every opportunity between a male and we see every opportunity involving closeness between a male and a female to somehow lead or will lead to romantic or sexual.
All right, I'm about to be controversial. It doesn't?
No, not all the time. There are plenty of people who have platonic or just straight regular friendships with people of the opposite sex.
No, I that's not my art. Like, I agree with that. That can happen, but I'm just saying.
But you just said, I'm about to be controversial. It doesn't.
No, I'm just saying, like again, and maybe you missing my point. I'm missing your point. I get that. Okay, if there's no attraction there, okay, but if there's attraction, like I know you hate that. I know you hate that.
Go ahead, I'm listening.
But if there's attraction there, there has to be boundaries, or I don't.
But how did attraction
It's the
come back?
potential. I think the potential. The word you used was potential. Like, if it was a sister, like a blood sister, there is 0% chance.
But some people other states don't care. It's true, they don't.
Go ahead, Fred.
I don't know. I might be just missing what he's saying. I'm gonna listen back to it, see if I understand.
You guys let us know what you guys think.
Yeah.
Is it possible to have a
I got hit. Please comment and leave us some feedback on this one.
regular go? No, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm
Like
sorry.
a regular. I don't know if platonic is the word or if that's gas. Relationship between a brother and sister in Christ. I mean, again, my personal perspective is I think the issues that we all see, I agree with. I'm just saying, is that natural, or is that because we don't talk about it? We don't teach each other how to do it. But
Is it even possible to teach?
is it even possible to teach?
I think
That could be
culturally we just
another question.
will not. It's just not gonna happen ever.
You guys let us know what you think. Disruptive Faith Podcast. Hit us up, disruptivefaithpodcast@gmail.com. Also, Disruptive Faith Podcast on Instagram. And hit us in the Facebook group. YouTube. We're on YouTube now for getting it popping. So if you have not already, make sure you like, subscribe, and visit us there. Anything else that I'm missing? All right. And also, look at your phone. If you enjoyed this conversation and enjoyed this podcast, ask yourself, did I leave a review? It is a huge blessing. It helps more people find out about the podcast and join in on these conversations with us all. So if this has been a blessing to you, share it and leave a review. Let us know what you think. All right, you guys be blessed, and we are out.